Hello and welcome to Seek Wisdom, Find Bliss. I am Shawn Evans, and today we're going to do a homemade pasta sauce. And I have all of the ingredients laid out here, not in any particular order, but I have some spinach. You can pretty much add spinach to anything. It's a great way to put it in your salads, your sauces, anything. So I have some fresh spinach here. We're going to chop up green onion. You'll need 6 whole red tomatoes. I have these. Mushrooms, y'all know I love mushrooms, so we're going to slice these and add mushrooms. Peppers, I have red and green. I love to use a variety of colors, the orange to yellow, but this was what I had available today. So we have green and red pepper. I'm going to do a little bit of fresh lemon juice, fresh parsley, olives. I love olives, and these are the purple olives. And basil, fresh basil. The smell of this basil just makes you feel like you're in a restaurant or a fresh garden. It is a very strong, refreshing smell. So fresh basil. And I am going to top my pasta with the sauce that we do, and then with fresh shrimp. So this is just a bowl of raw shrimp, and we're going to add these later. So these are all of the ingredients that we're going to use. So let's get started. Now all of the items, all of the veggies are chopped and diced individually. We have the tomatoes here, green peppers, olives, fresh parsley, red peppers, green onion, basil, spinach, mushrooms, lemon, and garlic. I didn't mention garlic initially, but we will use minced garlic. And let me just show you all of the diced ingredients so you can see. The mushrooms, spinach, basil, green onion, red pepper, parsley, olives, green pepper, and this is the 6 whole red tomatoes diced. And we're just going to take all of these items and place them in a pot and start to make our sauce. So let's get started. Okay. So in a sauce pan, pot, small pot, and I didn't record the cutting and the dicing of the actual veggies. The tomatoes, I sliced them in half, then sliced them in 4s and diced them. So that was how I accomplished the diced tomatoes. The green pepper, this is actually half of the green pepper. I did not use the entire one, and I simply just sliced it into small pieces. The olives, sliced them in halves. The same thing with the red pepper. I used 1/2 of the red pepper. I did not use the entire one, and just simply sliced it in long slices and then into smaller dices from there. The spinach, I simply tore that in pieces. And with the basil as well, I used maybe 2 pieces of basil, pull it off of the stem and chop it into small pieces. Now the green onions, I did use the entire bunch of the green onions. I removed the white part at the top and diced the green pieces into small pieces, sliced mushrooms. So when you are doing your veggies, just try to get them into small, manageable pieces. Dice everything into small pieces. So I'm going to take this pot here and lightly drizzle the bottom with olive oil. It's going to be my first step. So I'm just going to cover the bottom of the pot, pot, with olive oil. Just lightly cover. And then the first thing that I'm going to put in is going to be the garlic. I'm going to do maybe a tablespoon of minced garlic, and then I'm going to put in the green onion on a medium temperature. So on a medium temperature, I have the garlic here. Just going to take 1 spoonful of minced garlic, put that in. The next thing I'm going to put in is the diced green onions. want that to simmer. And just to be our base and our foundation. The next thing I'm going to put in is going to be my green peppers. Again, this is 1/2 of a whole green pepper, diced. We're going to put that in. Red peppers. You can also use the yellow or the orange ones as well for more color. Let these items kind of simmer and caramelize, and then add the other ingredients after these are going for maybe 7 minutes or so. Now I'm also going to put into this, I'm going to squeeze fresh lemon juice, just 1/2. Make sure we don't get any seeds. Just a little lemon juice for that little extra kick. I'm also going to do a little black pepper. And I'm not going to do any salt because when I add the shrimp later, the shrimp will have garlic seasoning and Old Bay, so I'm not going to do any salt in the veggie portion. So we're just going to let this simmer and caramelize for a few moments, and then we'll add the other ingredients. So let you take a peek at this. You can see the various colors, and that's the green onion, the green pepper, red pepper, and minced garlic in olive oil and fresh lemon juice. So we're just going to let that simmer for a few minutes and continue adding ingredients. Now that those items have simmered on a medium temperature for maybe 5 to 7 minutes, we're going to go ahead and add the remaining ingredients, which we're going to start with the tomatoes, the mushrooms, spinach, basil, and go ahead and add the olives as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the tomatoes. Okay, so we have the tomatoes. Just gonna stir those up a little bit. Let me mix it in. And now that I think of it, I think I may have used 7 tomatoes versus 6 this time. The recipe calls for 6 whole tomatoes, and I noticed that it's more tomatoes here, but it's not a huge deal, but it calls for 6 whole tomatoes, and I think this is 7. That in really good. Okay, and toss in the mushrooms. And you can use as many or as less as you like. There's no set amount. It's pretty much dependent upon your personal taste. I'm using a lot of mushrooms. Add the last few. And I'm going to go ahead and add the olives as well. there are many options as far as olives: black, green, purple. Just depends on your preference. And the tomatoes are going to create a certain amount of juice, so it's going to be a little bit of juice created. So don't expect it to be like your jar pasta sauce, because it's going to be obviously more hearty with whole vegetables, and the juice from the vegetables will be noticeable. So keep that in mind. Of course, it's easy to go to the store and buy something out of the jar. That's always an option, but this is an alternative if you ever wanted to try to make your own homemade sauce at home with your choice of vegetables. This is just an alternative. I'm going to hold off on putting in the basil and the spinach. I'll probably go ahead and do the basil, but not the spinach. So, yeah, this is the basil. Just sprinkle that in. It's gonna definitely give it that flavor that we love with pasta and tomatoes and Italian dishes. We're gonna hold off on doing the spinach since it takes very little time to cook. So that's pretty much everything except the spinach. I'll do that very last before I take everything out. And I'm just gonna let this simmer until the tomatoes start to caramelize and liquefy, and it becomes more of a sauce, and I see less whole pieces inside. So I'm gonna let this cook until I see it visually looking more like a sauce and less whole pieces. So that's anywhere, I'm gonna say anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and then take a look and see. And it's gonna stay on a medium temperature that entire time, a medium temperature. And it smells fantastic. So I'll let you see this before I move on. So this is what we have, our homemade veggie pasta sauce. This is the 7 whole tomatoes, but you can use 6 whole tomatoes with the basil, mushrooms, olives, green peppers, red peppers, green onions, and garlic. So we're just going to let this saute and simmer for anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes and kind of see how it looks at that point. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start my pasta. Go ahead and put my pasta on, or at least get the water going for my pasta, because this dish doesn't take very long to prepare. And then we'll add our shrimp and plate everything, and it's going to be delicious. Delicious. And another good option or choice, you have several options for the type of pasta you want to use. There's so many options for pasta, healthy choices, and just different choices depending on your personal preference. You don't have to use spaghetti, linguine, angel hair, rigatoni. There are so many different types of pasta you can use. So have fun with it and be creative, and yeah, do whatever your personal preference is or according to the occasion. But we're gonna let the water begin to boil for the pasta. Our sauce is going to do its thing, and we will add the spinach and the shrimp and go from there. The sauce has simmered for maybe 10 to 15 minutes on a medium temperature, and it looks great. It looks just the way it's supposed to look, like a sauce. All of the ingredients have meshed together, and it looks and smells fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and add the spinach at this point, because previously you could see that the tomatoes were in larger pieces. Now everything is broken up and it's more of a sauce. And there is liquid from the fresh vegetables that we were using. We have the pasta going back here. We're gonna let that go. Give you a close-up of what the sauce is looking like after 10 to 15 minutes of simmering. So these are all of the ingredients. And we have our sauce with our 7 whole tomatoes. We can just turn this down now because it's pretty much, it's ready to go. The olives, the basil, it smells really, really good. The garlic, green onions, red peppers. So I have the spinach right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly sprinkle the spinach in so that we can get more veggies. And of course it's going to, once the heat gets to it, it's going to just meld in very well with those other ingredients. So I'm just gonna stir it, and it's pretty hot, so spinach will mix in. And we're gonna go ahead and get started with our shrimp and let this continue to go. And actually, let me just sprinkle a little bit of fresh parsley. I have the fresh parsley here. It's almost empty because I use it very often. So I'm just gonna take a pinch and just lightly sprinkle fresh parsley into our sauce. You can do oregano or any other herb you like. Okay. Gonna stir that in as well. And my pasta should be coming out very soon. I'm gonna check it. I do not like overcooked pasta, so you have to watch it as well. Turn the temperature down if needed. This looks great. This looks fantastic. You know what's actually in it versus reading a jar. You know what's in it because you put the ingredients in the pot. This is fantastic stuff. So let me just get ready to do the shrimp. Check my pasta as well. Make sure it's not, okay, yeah, it's looking very good, but I'm just gonna turn the temperature down just a little. Don't want it to overcook. Okay. And don't want it to be undercooked either. Okay, so for the shrimp, we're going to take this pan here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Put it back here. Lightly drizzle olive oil in your pan. You want to coat the entire bottom with a very thin layer of olive oil. This is for the shrimp. And I'm going to put this on kind of a medium-low temperature because I don't want them to cook too fast. So here are the shrimp here. They've already been seasoned. And these are raw shrimp. I don't use cooked shrimp. I like to use raw shrimp and season them and then cook them. The cooked shrimp are the ones that's already pink. Or you can also get raw shrimp, depending on where they come from, that's pink as well. But you just verify with your seafood department if they're previously cooked and frozen or if they're raw shrimp. I like to use raw shrimp. Just gonna put the shrimp in the olive oil. And I've already seasoned mine with garlic and Old Bay and light parsley. In addition to that, I'm going to take another half of a lemon wedge and squeeze lemon juice all over my seasoned shrimp while they cook. I don't want any seeds to get into the pan. Okay, so we're just going to let that go. Let the pasta finish cooking. We're going to let the pasta finish. It's almost done. Let the shrimp go ahead and saute. Our sauce is completely done. We're going to put that on simmer low. And we will be plating everything very shortly. Also give you one other close-up of our sauce. We have our raw shrimp, and they will be cooking, and the pasta will be coming out very soon because it's pretty much done. So we will be plating everything next. Everything is done at this point, so I will show you everything that's cooked, and we'll go ahead and get it plated so you can see the finished product. Okay. My shrimp are still going. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. This is the sauce. The pasta is complete. And the shrimp, I'm going to turn those off because they are done. And we will go ahead and get everything plated. This meal is very easy to prepare. And it doesn't take a lot of time to prepare. The only thing that may take the majority of the time is the dicing and the cutting of all the fresh vegetables at the beginning for the sauce. Everything else doesn't take long at all. So let me grab a plate and we'll go ahead and get started. Plate. I'm also going to need the strainer. Go ahead and strain the pasta. And it did not overcook. It's just the way I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and strain the pasta and rinse it off. Yes, it looks perfect. Just the way I like it. There's nothing worse than overcooked pasta. It gets kind of chunky and I don't know. It's just not good. I don't like it when it's cooked too long. So I'm just rinsing this off. Okay. Turn the shrimp off. Make sure they're all done. Okay. Now for the pasta, take my plate. And this is going to be lunch all week, so I'm just going to plate a small portion now, and then I'll plate the storage containers when I'm done. Again, this is spaghetti, but you can use any type of pasta that you choose to use for this dish. And then next we're going to add our sauce on top. And it looks and smells really good with the spinach, the mushrooms, the olives, everything. It looks really good. So we're just gonna take a good amount of the sauce, maybe a couple of spoonfuls, and place it right on top of your pasta. And again, there is no limit to what you can add to this sauce. It's really up to you, whatever you like. Whatever your favorite vegetables are and ingredients. That looks great, and it smells good too. And you actually know what you're eating. Okay. And now I'm going to just rinse this spoon. So I'm going to put a few shrimp on top. Here are the shrimp. We sauteed those in olive oil and lemon juice, and they were seasoned with garlic and Old Bay. So I'm just going to take a few shrimp, place those on top, and there you have it. That's our finished product. So this is how everything looks together. The pasta with the shrimp and our homemade vegetable pasta sauce on top with spinach, tomatoes, green onions, green peppers, red peppers, garlic, olives. It looks great. So I can't wait to give this a try. Again, guys, this meal is very easy, very quick to make, And you can, anything that I use that you don't like, definitely swap those items out. And leave your questions, your comments, and let me know if you decide to try this dish, how it goes.